Ritu Arora, CIO Canara HSBC OBC Life Insurance joins in. And Ritu, by all counts, it seems like earnings, that's going to be the next driver for growth, the contingency on whether or not corporates deliver in the next quarter. Are you betting on earnings recovery or not?
Thanks. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Yes, earnings will be the key driver going forward. The risk off that we had seen in global markets or FII flows seems to have moderated. We are seeing flows in, so that worry is taken care of for now. And now earnings will be something to watch out for, though I don't expect the recovery to be as swift as you suggested. I think it is at least a quarter away, if not two, before we start seeing some kind of revival in earnings, revenue, etc.
Right. Ritu, what is it that your observation has been when it comes to the cement pack? Because the kind of traction one is seeing doesn't seem like this is all got to do just with the kind of price appreciation that cement as a commodity may be seeing. This seems like something more than that.
Clearly, there seems to be a demand uptake as well as price appreciation along with this demand uptake, and there's again positivity around demand with infrastructure projects, road projects, etc. taking off, that the demand will continue to be robust. Of course, the industry had seen overcapacities a couple of years back. And I think now with the demand coming back, the positivity around the sector is there, and the valuations were anyway fairly attractive. And I think it is something that we might continue to see outperforming for the next couple of months.
Ritu, let's also talk a little bit about the pharma sector. That's, leaving everyone fairly jittery off late with all of these concerns. Do you think that it's a sector that one needs to be very stock specific in? And if so, what is the advice that you have here?
I completely agree with you. Pharma sector, in fact, is a sector which has underperformed the rally. The markets have moved up about 750 points since the budget announcements. Pharma sector has underperformed by about 6%, rather has not performed at all. So it's 6% negative, which leaves a big valuation gap. But within the sector, the companies are quite varied. There are companies where there's an FDA overhang. There are some others where the audits have been relatively clean. All in all, I think this is positive for the sector as better transparency, better controls, and better acceptance of Indian pharma companies globally should be the result of this improved governance that comes with FDA's oversight. Having said that, I would very selectively continue to invest in pharma. We see earnings growth. It's one of those sectors where you still have robust earnings growth, and I personally like it. So for me, it is an opportunity to add weights, but not as a sector, as we said earlier, stock specific.
Let's talk as well about, the FMCG theme or the consumption theme as a whole. Getting some brokerage reports when it comes to individual names like ITC that there is potential on the upside. What's the view when it comes to the consumption theme? And I also would like to understand from you what the expectation is when it comes to earnings within this space.
I think the consumption space will continue to experience a fair bit of volatility. Also, it's a very wide space, and there will be pockets within that which will be impacted by the unseasonal rains, the commodity prices, as we will see, depending on how the monsoon plays out. The price increases. There have been some players in specific pockets who've been managing to take price increases while others have not. So it is going to definitely be, it is also a barometer to see how the economy is getting back on track. So bank and consumption are two sectors to watch carefully. So I would not paint the entire consumption pack in one brush. I think one needs to be very cautious. Of course, study it in great detail to see if we are seeing the recovery on the grassroots, specifically rural economy coming back on track. But I would be cautious. It's also not a great sector if markets continue to perform and continue with the trajectory that they have demonstrated in the last few weeks.
Do you think that there is, some sort of upside potential when it comes to the overall metal space, or are you seeing the cyclical nature playing out and therefore it's perhaps a bit of a cautious stance that you may adopt within the sector?
Metals is definitely a cyclical rally that has played out. The fundamentals have not improved. Global demand, if anything, has continued to get disrupted. It is tepid. China continues to show faltering growth. So really on fundamental level, nothing positive on the metal sector, and I would not add weight or be positive on the sectors. I continue to be underweight and negative on this sector for now.
Right. Ritu, good chatting with you. Thanks much for taking time out and sharing with us your market perspective. That's the word coming in from Ritu Arora. Let's take a quick break on that note. When we come